monsters knocking at my door. Silent screams, unending dread. Movie reel spins in my head. Candles flicker, ghosts arise. Evil whispers, twisted cries. Death pit tales of terror spun. Stomping hearts feel the run. Under scares in my eye. From horrors of days gone by. Gary and Bill by my side. In this haunted midnight ride.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back. We took a little hiatus last week. I was away, but we are back, baby. We are back for our 100th Scariest Movie Moments from Bravo special back in 2004. UB, how we doing tonight, man?
Doing good, man. We're just running a train of like horror talk and talk radio. We'll just keep going.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you
man.
guys didn't know, we were just guests on Pizzow's channel for the last 2.5 hours talking old school horror, talking YouTube, talking memories, and it was a great time. And now we're here, so we're on kind of double duty. We got caffeine going over here. We are ready to do this show with you guys tonight. So do us a favor and like the stream. Make sure you're sub to both channels. Share this out. Go tell people that we're live right now because, guys, I want you guys to interact with us because UB and I are getting tired here. This is going to be like we're rolling on like 3.5 hours of chit-chatting and jabbering about this stuff. So let's make the chat amusing and interesting tonight to keep this thing flying. Because this list, dude, today is honestly, this is the best one we've had so far. This is the best 15 movies that I think we're going to talk about this whole series. I'm excited to talk about these.
I think this yeah, sorry. My brain melted about an hour ago.
Let's get these people going here, baby.
This is weird because I think this is the first time where every single one of these movies are kind of like bangers. You know what I mean? From this point on, like it gets pretty intense and all of them have something to offer. So it's not like, they'll throw in a couple of things that you're kind of like, what the hell's that doing on there? But not at this point.
Well, we still got our Universal Monsters pick in here too. So that's
that's expected. Every 10 you've got to have a Universal Monster. They're just like I guarantee you somebody was like, okay, there's 10 here. We'll put the Creature from Black Lagoon. We'll put Frankenstein. Dracula's got to be here. Wolfman. Yeah.
Or at least 15 because we're doing 15 per show until the top 10 and every single show has had one. So there was some kind of system, I think, going on here. And, to me, I'm kind of curious which is in their opinion, the scariest Universal Monsters movie because we're working down the line right now.
We're going to find out eventually, I guess. But you're right. It's like, I guess those movies are scary for like a time period. If you grew up in that time period, like I'm sure seeing Frankenstein was like, horrifying, but it's hard to imagine in our generation like that way too.
For sure. I'm going to go to the chat. You guys are filling up right now, so this is awesome. I don't know if I'm going to get to everybody because I don't want to keep this 3 hours, but here we go.
Comments already.
Bobby, Big Boy Knuckles, baby. I love it. I love that. Thanks for being here, man. Babyface in the house. Glad I got you to pop some lame ducks. What the hell? You guys are crazy. Oh my
Listen,
God.
I didn't read the chat in that whatsoever. I don't read chats in any of the streams like that, that I do or anything like that, except for the ones that we do or whatever. So I have no idea what went on. It could have been the god awfulest crazy shit ever. I would have no idea.
This list, this is like a 7-week series. So yeah, we're almost home. I think we've got like 2 weeks left. What up, El Chewy Gringo? Welcome to the show, man. Love this on AMC back in the day.
I can't do this tonight. I'm already fucking slap happy, man. Cannot.
Can we get the top 100 worst Tony Moran outbursts or meltdowns, Uncle Bill? Oh man, we've got to have some kind of Moran stuff buried in this thing somewhere. Let me see. If
Oh
I
yeah,
can...
there's some. You just gotta
See, I'm
find
on. I gotta just find them. I don't know where these things. Oh, here we go.
I'm the only one that's Michael Myers, you fucking bitch.
the classic right there.
Oh my god. I totally lost my spot here. We've got what up, Ring? How are you, man? I appreciate that. Big boy Knuckles. What up, Gus? Oh man, we're doubling up tonight, baby. What up, Melsky? Welcome to the show, kiddo. What up, Cody? Sanitizer. What up, Rambo? Fozzie? You guys are popping in here. UB said they're running train talking some horror talk radio.
Hey, it's not exactly how I meant it, but I can see how it would come off that way.
What up, Blu-ray? the alpha hard bros. I appreciate that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Let me see. What up, Max Wren in the house? I went to a 12-hour movie marathon last night, 10 p.m. So damn. All right, you're all caffeined up as well. Jeez, you guys are going crazy in this chat. I can't. Oh, hell yeah. Drinking C4, wild as hell. I didn't know you do wrestling. Yes. UB can body slam. I think I've seen him. I think he body slammed Wes once. Like it was like a Luger kind of thing.
That's exactly what it was. It's like an Ultimate Warrior gorilla press. That's what it was.
When you did it, did you kind of hold your back? Like,
yeah. Can't do it. And he fell on top of me. Like, kidding me?
Jackson Jack, what was my wrestling name? My wrestling name was Jamie Starr. Was my wrestling name. Oh my god. I didn't see the teaser trailer for Stranger Things 2. You guys are getting crazy up in here. What up, Rat? Welcome back. Wes is going to bed, so he's tapping out for the night. Let me see.
No.
Weed dust.
Steve did not body slam me. Steve powerballed me and broke my fucking rib.
Did he really?
Yeah, that's a legit story.
Oh, we did the Rad Pack show last night. We did Cursed versus American Werewolf in Paris. Which one is the best of the raddest of the baddest? What would you say? What do you like better?
Oh. Am I back?
You're back. I didn't see you.
I think my computer is like fucking like dragging. Which movie do I like better, Cursed or American? What kind of question is that?
Well, that was the Rad Pack show last night. That was the verse battle.
Cursed or that you did a show on that?
Yeah, it was
Jesus Christ,
Rad of the bad, man. Rad of the bad. Which one do you like?
Oh my God almighty. That's like saying, would you rather get curb stomped or kicked in the balls with steel-toe boots? It's like, I mean, I guess Cursed if I had to pick.
That won last night.
But I mean, I don't want to pick.
What up, Bragster? What's up, guys? Did you see the ad for 3 days of Terrifier Bar? They're giving them Vealing and no, I did not, but I'm interested. But here's this is what I don't like with some of the companies. Like, they'll do this, and then all of a sudden, like, we'll all buy it, and then second site's like, we're doing it now. And it's like, damn it. So I don't know. I gotta check it out, but I wouldn't mind getting a 4K box set of all of them, but we'll see. I have to check it out. What was my wrestling gimmick as Jamie Starr? I almost kind of portrayed like an 80s kind of like hair metal rocker guy. It's kind of but I was a heel. I was kind of an asshole. That was kind of my gimmick. Let me see. Now people are talking about cursed. But anyway, let's get into the show because again, like we said, this is a great list. You guys are going to want to be here for this. As we talk about some really, really rad movies. Coming in at number 38, we're going to go through the list of 38 to 24 tonight. I actually would have fit really well in 3 count, to be honest. I really would have. Like, that would have been kind of almost perfect, to be honest. 3 count. All right, we're talking Peeping Tom, man.
The movie that basically destroyed Michael Powell's career. Yeah. It really did, oddly enough, because it was so ahead of its time that people freaked out about it, and he just kind of got blacklisted. But nowadays, like, it's considered a classic and probably on par with like Psycho for the effect that it had on the genre. I just watched it recently because Dirk and I and Darren did a stream, and that was one of the movies. And I was amazed though at how like sleazy it was for 1960, man. It's just all about like hookers and murders and voyeurism and things like and trauma from childhood. It's crazy that that movie exists from that time period. But yeah, I completely agree that it's a great movie. It deserves to be on this list.
Yeah, 100%. I think that it should be definitely on this list. Like you said, it does feel like it's gained a lot more popularity. Like it does feel like an all-time classic now. Talking about it, and again, it's not one that I don't know if this made Shudder's list. Shudder did if you guys don't know, Shudder did a similar list about 2 years ago, and we did a similar show about it. And what we're finding out is in 2004, when this list was made, and 20 years later, that a lot of these movies didn't carry over because there's been a lot more that's come out since then. Do you happen to know if Peeping Tom did make that list?
Oh, yeah, the original Shutter list. I think it did, but let's see. I'm not sure like where it would have been. Hold
What up, Swag?
Bay of Blood made it. Peeping Tom was number 63.
Oh, wow. I'm shocked it was on that list, but I like this though. He's a peeping Tom. Marty McFly.
That's by his dad. Yeah.
So is Crispin Glover in this? He should be in like the remake. Like they called it like all those years ago. Peeping Tom.
That's it's wild to me though that it's like what like 30, almost 30 higher on Bravo's list than it was on Shudder.
It happened.
Hookers.
Jackson. That's probably how Zemeckis discovered Glover's spine.
A tree.
Oh no, I can't. Can someone get rid of this guy?
Oh no. It's the New York City Guido bot. Listen, where's Vaderbot? I miss Vaderbot a lot. He would just come in and talk about how big he was.
This is actually not a bad question. He said, "Who was the first peeping Tom? Who was Tom? Who was
the
peeping?
guy? Yeah. Who was Tom? The real guy?
Just some guy that was just spying on chicks." So his name kind of got glued to it. Oh my god, that is funny.
Oh my god.
All right. Thank you guys for getting rid of Cannoli or whatever his name was over there. I did see that Alien Romulus is getting a VHS release. I did see that. Interesting. It's here's the thing. I think it's cool until it's not cool anymore, because the problem is getting a VHS every once in a while of a new movie is kind of like, oh, that's kind of a cool little thing. But if it's going to become like every movie, it's going to really get fucking stale.
VHS of Alien Romulus, really?
I don't even know if Alien Romulus was good. I didn't see it.
You haven't seen that movie yet?
No.
Oh god, I'd be curious to see what you think about it, because I'm not sure where you would fall in that, really.
I mean, to be honest, I'm actually only a fan of the first two Alien movies. I don't like 3. I don't like 4. And I actually thought Prometheus was okay, and then I didn't like the last one that they did. So I don't know what I would do with Romulus. I have no idea.
I don't think you would like it. That's my game. I mean, if you're,
the trailer looked promising. I'll say that it looked creepy. But I think what happened with 3 and 4 is why I don't like them. Is just the CGI is so bad in those two that it's hard for me to look past that. But
CGI's
I
not
don't know. I'm
bad, and
curious.
it's just a crazy boring movie
Oh,
to
it is.
me.
Okay.
It's one of those movies that has like 15 endings where they just don't know how to end the movie, so they just like tack on like one thing
Mm.
happens, and then you think that, and then another thing happens, and then it's just like by the end of it, you don't care.
It is a little random that is the VH, like that's what they're gonna do for VHS. Like, why Romulus? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really. I could see if it was like Long Legs or Maxine or something, but why like like a fifth sequel to a franchise? You know what I mean? Like, it does seem like kind of a random movie to have as like a VHS release. I don't know, but I just hope that's not going to be the norm because that's going to become just too much. I think. What up, Bryce? William says he liked it. Yeah, talk to me about it. I have never seen any Indiana Jones movies. So
What the fuck, buddy?
so I was actually talking to my brother about this yesterday, and he hasn't seen them either. It just never came into our house for whatever reason. And I bought them all on 4K with the idea of doing like a first time watch. So I think him and I are going to do it together and then review them based on what it's like watching this movie in 2024. Does it still live up to the hype as it would have if I was 10? I don't know.
I don't think so, but I mean, it's yeah, it's just one of those movies that I think it's a great movie. They're all
It
good.
really doesn't make any sense that I would not have seen that. Number one, it's like one of the biggest 80s movies ever. And like my whole life was movies as a kid. It just like I knew it, but it just never came in. I don't know why. I really don't. Strange.
I said they're all good, then I forgot that there were 2 added on it. I mean, the first 3 are good.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that.
Those are the only ones I bought on 4K is those first 3. But the next one we're going to talk about, number 37 tonight, is a great movie, and I actually think the remake's okay for a remake that came out around that time, and that's House on Haunted Hill. Great movie, and I do think that the remake, I always thought that was pretty decent as well, but it worked, and even some of the stuff they showed on this, where the old lady was kind of,
Yep.
as they were working up the wall, she was behind them and then kind of floated away. Still pretty damn effective.
It is, yeah, and they always show that one particular scene because I think that freaked people out so much in the theaters. But the way they did that is just so good and effective, and the close shot and then the wide shot of her just kind of floating out of the, off camera. That's amazing. And William Castle was mostly known for his gimmicks and like kind of like the Carnival Barker of directors and things like that. But that's actually a fairly decent movie.
Mm-hmm. So I definitely think it deserves to be on this list. I think it's pretty well liked as an old school horror movie. That's number 37. Number 36 is interesting too, because I think that this has a great remake as well. And that's Cape Fear. Oh no.
I'm sorry, this comment. She had a skateboard rode off and did a kickflip. That's kind of what it looked like. Oh god. Anyway,
That's funny.
36. Sorry.
Yeah, 36 was Cape Fear, the original. Effective movie, creepy.
Again, kind of a classic that always gets referenced. I also had a remake that was a really good remake with De Niro.
De Niro, yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's a hell of a remake now, the more I think about it. But
They could have had that one in here in this spot and it would have made total sense. It was that good.
where he's going down in the lake speaking, in tongues and stuff. That scene
Is it Julia Lewis, the girl in it?
Julia Lewis,
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's Cape Fear. The original's creepy. They talk about how this guy is, all the bad things he's about to do to this person's family, and he doesn't really find anything wrong with what he's doing or saying. He almost kind of justifies it. And that's kind of how De Niro played the part as well. And it was just really effective. If you guys haven't seen any of these ones, either of those ones, I highly recommend both.
Gregory Peck, Robert Mitchum, great actors of the time period for sure.
As we move down this list, and the reason we're moving fast is because there's going to be some we're going to talk about a lot more. Number 35 is Aliens. Now, I don't remember if Alien was on this list at all anywhere. It had to have been.
Something tells me, yeah. Something tells
But
me
it's
it
weird
will.
because they don't usually do sequels on these lists, I found.
I think they did for this one.
Oh, yeah. I think Alien was up there, like, in the 90s or something, I thought.
Aliens is quite possibly, like, one of the best action popcorn movies ever made. I mean, to me, it's right up there with, like we were talking about Terminator 2,
I was
and
just gonna say that, yeah.
it's the same. I mean, it's just wall-to-wall action, great characters, great plot, great special effects that still hold up amazingly to this day. The Queen at the end of it, like, still looks amazing. I mean, I don't
Game
know.
over, man.
It's game over, yeah.
Yeah, I always put and it obviously it could be Cameron, but I always put Aliens and Terminator kind of in the same realm. And the reason is as a kid, I was always Aliens and Terminator 2. Like if you asked me to watch either of those movies, I'd be like, oh, those are the best. Those are way better. But now that I've gotten older, if I have to think of a better movie, I always put Terminator and Alien ahead of the sequels now. But growing
Mhm.
up, it was always the opposite. I was always pro the two.
Mhm.
So I always kind of keep them together. And I don't know if it's a Cameron thing or if it's because I kind of feel the same way where you had a sci-fi movie turn a little bit more action, on the sequel. And then I really loved that one even more because it was like the first one, but on steroids. And now I kind of bring it back and I can appreciate the originals a lot more than I did as a kid.
Yeah, I go back and forth with them, really. Like, at certain times, I'll pick one or the other. I don't know which one's better, honestly. Like, I mean, they're just two completely different styles of movie making, really. Like, Alien and Aliens is just insanely different.
Yeah, and if you guys have been following my channel, you'll know that the face hugger is literally like one of the scariest things ever to me. Like so much so, like Mel will be like, oh, "Send me pictures of like the face hugger." I'm like, "Don't even freaking send me that thing." Like, cause like Neck is putting them out, like life size ones. I'm like, I don't want that anywhere near my house. Like that thing is like the freakiest freaking thing to me. Is that damn face hugger?
Chig the Quig didn't like Newt. He didn't like
Oh,
the,
he wasn't a Newt fan.
no. They mostly come out at night. Mostly.
Jackson Jack, 100%. I do not want any of that happening. No. You don't think that those are those to me are scarier than the damn freaking xenomorphs?
Oh, yeah, 100%. The face huggers are like the worst, especially like when they got more graphic and detail with what they were doing to
Yeah.
people. It was like, yeah, it's like
The
stuff from
fucking
nightmares.
legs and shit too, like those like
Yeah, little
Can't-
tiny spindly little pencil legs coming at you.
oh my god, with the knuckles on them like that. That's
Mhm.
gross. Don't like them. People are really going nuts on Newt over here. Poor thing.
Poor old Newt.
Oh my god. There was I don't know why I'm gonna bring this story up because I'm fucking
Newt would have been
tired.
dead before they got there. Buddy, Newt was a survivor. She ain't gonna give up.
Oh my god. The original close. There was don't send me neck and face huggers, damn it. Please to God, don't. Freaking nightmares over here. I don't even want to talk about this. I don't want to tell. Or I'll tell the story. It's freaking random. There used to be a baseball card shop near my house when I was growing up, and the owner, his name was Newt, and it was like the only time I ever heard anybody really called that. Like his name was Newt. It was a guy, and he was always known by all the kids as he used to fart all the time, like in this.
What?
I don't know why I'm bringing this up. It just reminded me of it because his name was Newt. Like he'd be like, "Oh, what are you boys looking for today?" Like, "Oh, you want the new Frank Thomas? Let me go get it for you." And he'd walk.
And the walking
Oh,
cards.
always, it was like a walk. Every time he walked, he would rip, dude. Every time, and it get to a point where we would just be like, "Let's go to the card shop to see Newt fart." So we'd ask him to go get us shit, and he'd walk around like.
Oh,
What-
Jesus Christ.
Bringing up Newt made me think of that guy.
Oh,
I don't know. Oh my god, fart face Newt.
that might
So
be
now
the
you- now every
greatest-
time
that
you
might be
guys
the
see-
greatest segue, Garrett, from any of this to any other story.
So now every time you guys watch Alien, you're gonna think Newt farts or something.
You boys want the new Frank Thomas. so great. Y'all got the King Griffey Jr. rookie card. He just farts all the way to the
Like,
back.
what are those cards way in the back over there? Like, oh, those are the new upper decks. Like, I want one of those. Like, all right. We'd all just like geek out laughing and shit.
That's so great.
I don't know. Sorry, guys. I know this has nothing to do with anything.
No.
No, he's not. I mean, who knows? I don't know what that old dude's up to now. Maybe he's selling them in a jar. I have no idea.
Yep.
Funny thing was, it didn't really stink. Like, it didn't really stink in there. So I don't know. It was just interesting. I never wanted to watch it.
Oh god.
Yo, there was no internet back then, dude. I'm an old man. We had to keep ourselves occupied and shit. Oh, all right.
Some of these comments, man.
I'm not telling you guys any more stories. I'm going to save it for the members only shows. Goodness.
Holy
Okay.
shit. Okay.
Newt selling Ziploc. Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
How
Aliens
do
is
we-
great, guys. Aliens is great. It deserves to be on this list.
How do we get back on track? Like,
Well, we're going to talk about a great movie that just got a 4K. That's what we're going to talk about. That is going to be number 34, and that is The Hitcher.
That is actually a better movie than I thought it was. Just recently watched it again, and I was like, this is way better than I even remembered it being. And I knew it was a good movie when I saw it, like, you know, as a teenager. And it was like so much better now than it was then. Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I think this 4K release has really given this movie a new life because it was a movie that, you know, people in the know loved it. You know, it was on HBO a lot. Obviously, we had the DVDs, and, you know, the Hitcher was always one that to me felt like a classic. Oh, baby. Big money mark. And you have new kids performing at your house. I gotta go. You gotta text me, man. Where you living now? Still in the woods?
Big money.
Big money mark.
Oh, shit.
Newt kids on the block.
That fart story's never gonna die now, man. I promise you.
Oh my God.
The Hitcher is amazing though. It should have just been called Rutger Hauer's The Hitcher because basically, like, he's the whole show, really.
Yeah, man, it is so good, and I'm so happy to see like that it's getting a lot more love now because, like I said, I do feel it was kind of a lost film, and I know we had even mentioned it. Like, did you guys do like a showcase and unboxing of that edition? Oh no,
I can't even think that some of these comments come in. They're just fucking.
I told you guys to keep us entertained tonight.
Did I do an unboxing?
Like, did you do it? Because I know we had talked about doing like a showcase, but talking about kind of the long history of the Hitcher, and, you know, the success of it at first, how a longtime horror fans look at it as a classic. It kind of felt like a lost film for a while because of the whole issue with physical media, and now it's really getting a new life, which is really cool to see. Because look at this list from 2004. I mean, the Hitcher is on this at 34. I don't know, man. Is the Hitcher on Shudder's list? Because if it's not,
so.
that almost goes to prove that a movie like this kind of got lost in the shuffle throughout the years.
I mean, I'll look on here to make sure, but I swear I don't think it's on that list. No.
See?
Not unless, hold on, they might have had it if they had it super high, but I can't imagine they would have.
I think it really has gotten a new life recently that it's kind of lost, and it's so good. He's so good in it. Like, even just that beginning scene where he's explaining like what happened to the couple, like that he was just, and then like even that scene where he knows this guy's messed up and he drops him off, and then he sees them, like he sees him in another car with like the little kid in the back, and it's like, what the hell? Like, even still, would you have picked up a hitchhiker and be like, yeah, go like play with my kids back then? Like,
basically, if you think about it, John Ryder was like the ultimate motivational speaker. because all he was trying to do was get C. Thomas Howell to become a man. He was just like, kill me. Like, that's all you have to do. Like, you have to like transition, become a man, take, responsibility and kill me, because he wanted to die. That was the thing about his character, like in that movie, is that he really wanted to die. He just wanted like him to kill him and therefore journey through manhood. So that eventually happens, but not to spoil a 40-year-old movie, but
waving out of the car. Yeah, it's just he's in the backseat playing with like the kids' toys with this like little too funny. Like, who's gonna pick up that guy? Like, oh yeah, go sit in the back and just do whatever you want with my child. Man,
yeah, let's be honest. Like, you gonna pick up Rutger Hauer in a trench coat? No, you're not. Not with a bunch of kids.
And then let him sit between them in the back. Yeah. Like he like becomes like one of their kids, basically. He's like a new kid. Oh my god. But The Hitcher, man, fantastic. I'm so happy to see it on this list. Again, you're talking these movies right now. Aliens, Hitcher, and it gets better from here. We got number 33, and it's The Fly. We got a big Cronenberg flick. Awesome movie, man. So good. I feel like it still stands the test of time to me. It's one of those movies you can watch now, and I still feel the same way I did the first time I saw it as a kid. And I mean, I guess this is universally pretty loved of a movie.
Yeah, I think it's like his most accessible movie by far. Like The Fly. It's the one that most people know that don't even know who the hell David Cronenberg is. And it's still, even though that's super kind of mainstream, it's still got some like incredibly disturbing stuff in it. Like, I still can't get over the fact that it has those scenes in it where he throws up on the guy's like leg and melts it and shit, and his arm, his hand, and all that. Yeah. And the one scene of that movie that honestly gets me more than any of them is the arm wrestling scene, man. I can't stand stuff like that anyway. And like,
you don't like watching Sid leg break or anything like that?
Oh God. It just like you saying that brings it into my head. No.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I don't like that either. There's been, yeah, I hate that shit too. Like, there was even one I think I watched online one time where a kickboxer kicked this guy and then it busted, like, and then he stepped back on his foot, but it went on the bone.
I saw that. Yeah. There's Louisville game too, man. I don't know if you ever saw that one where the kid broke his leg, like in the game, the Louisville, the basketball game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's brutal to watch too.
I can't even imagine. Sid, like, poor bastard, like, it was dangling there. You knew it was like, I don't know what was going on when they took that boot off. Like, I don't know what that looked like when that boot came off.
By the way, what the hell was he thinking doing that anyway? Like,
he said that I think it was who's the guy, Mr. McMahon. What was his name? The surfer guy.
Patterson?
No. Johnny Ace.
Johnny Ace. Oh yeah. I should have got that by the voice.
Johnny Ace told him to do off the top rope, like a boot off the top. And he's like, I don't think so. He's like, oh yeah, do that. Like, that'll be cool or something. And Sid said he was very hesitant about it, and he did it. And then that's what happened. He landed on one foot, but like, why would you do a boot off the top and land on one foot? Like, and you're 6'9", 6'10". What part of that made any sense? He's never once done a flying boot. Like, I've never do that.
Yeah. It's just it's so against anything that it was part of his character or anything like that. And yeah, but
wild. But The Fly, people are talking about the sequel. I'm sure this will probably be a movie that's going to get a 4K. At least the first one will. Someone said they wish Rodney Dangerfield was The Fly. Okay.
What? The Fly over here. Oh my God. I think that's more like Andrew Dice Clay. Hey, I'm a fly. Oh.
You're gonna The Fly over here, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's a great movie. Oh my God.
Cruising. Would you have the yellow bandana in your back pocket?
Oh my God. But yeah, it's a great one. So good to see it on this list. And we roll into number 32, and that's Pet Sematary, which to me is another great movie. They actually said that. Did they get in trouble? I think they talked about this. They got in trouble for Gage walking around cutting people with a knife, right?
They did say
I didn't
that.
realize
Yeah,
that.
I didn't either.
They said something happened. Was it Warner or somebody was pissed, I think.
That's not even in the top 2 scariest scenes of that movie to me. The scene in that movie that still haunts my fucking nightmares is the Zelda stuff.
Mhm.
Like, I don't care about anything about that kid. That kid wasn't scary to me at all, but the scene where, like, he is laying in the bed and then, like, just jumps up, like, with that, is just staring at it. I was like, "Nope." Like, as a kid, that
Mhm.
scared the ever loving piss out of me, and it still kinda scares me to this day.
Yeah,
But
100%. That is the scariest scene to me as well. But yeah, I guess they said that Gage cutting, I think, what was it? Oh no, what do you see over there?
this comment that took
No
place today.
fair. No
Oh.
fair. Um, yeah, horrifying for sure. But yeah,
Yeah, I
when
think
he cut the Achilles tendon, I think that was the scene
yeah.
I'm talking about.
I mean, I get that. That's like, yeah, one of the worst kinda thoughts. But to me, Pascal and Zelda were creepier, way creepier than Gage.
Um, I think what happened too was I still find Pet Cemetery a little bit disturbing. Like, you know what's going to happen. They don't really show anything, but the scene of him walking in front of that truck still it's hard to watch,
Yeah,
like you just can imagine like how easy that could have happened, because when the kids are that small, you don't know what the hell they're doing. Just walking
yeah.
out in the middle of the street and a freaking truck go by. It's still a hard scene to watch, even though they don't really show you much. But I think just the idea of him getting smashed by that thing, it's a rough scene for me.
Yeah, if you got kids, it's definitely a rough scene, and also the reaction that he has to it too.
Now, I wasn't really aware of this. Was Romero supposed to be on deck to do this?
Yeah, I mean, around that time, Rero was supposed to be on deck to do just about everything, but nothing worked out. I swear, man, it was like movie after I wish Alpha was in here. He'd have a list of movies that like
Mm.
Romero was supposed to do around that time, but he didn't.
I also recently was doing some research on a video I'm doing on werewolf movies, and um I didn't realize Silver Bullet originally was a Coscarelli flick,
I
and
didn't either.
he ended up leaving the project because there was just too many people wanted too many rewrites and all this stuff, and it's kind of interesting to think what that would have been like if he would have continued that. Because
Oh
I
yeah.
always think Coscarelli's got a really interesting way he does things. So it's kind of interesting to hear that he was somebody that was supposed to originally be the person to do Silver Bullet, and I forget what he ended up going to do instead. But yeah, thought it was a kind of interesting fun fact.
Don't you think Phantasm is one of those movies that's singular, like almost like Texas Chainsaw or Suspiria or something? Like it just seems to exist in like a whole other universe or something. You could never remake that or kind of copy that. Like it's just such a unique movie.
It's 100%. It's so unique and so original and so different. It works on all angles, and I think this is what we were talking about on the last stream we did on Piz's channel. Is that why I think movies worked so well back in the day was they didn't give a shit. Like Hollywood, imagine bringing the whole. I don't even know what you say about Phantasm. Imagine bringing that to the table. Like, all right, I got a great idea. It's going to be this like tall man. He's going to have like the superhuman strength, and he's going to be like he's gonna be an Undertaker, and then he's gonna have these like little mini monster guys with him. Like it doesn't really make any sense, but that's what makes it work
Yep.
because it feels like a fever dream, the whole thing. And he's got a sphere, and there's gonna be this other kid that's got this Cuda, and there's gonna be a scene where they're just like randomly playing a song like outside like the house.
Yep. And then all the stuff with like the lady in lavender turning into
Yeah.
that. It's like none of it makes a damn bit of sense, but it's amazing.
And then as they go, they get even more wild, with like the chick with the sphere boobs and all this other stuff. Like, I mean, it's just
Yep.
shit gets friggin' out of control.
What is it in the second one? Is it the end of the second one where she's playing with her hair? I can never get that scene out of my head either. And she's playing with her hair and like she just pulls a big chunk of her hair out. Like that's
And the
like kind of
friggin'
like
thing.
the end of the movie. Yeah.
It's I love Phantasm. I think the whole at least 1 through 4, I really, really enjoy. I think 4 is a very interesting sequel because it was almost like built off of footage that they didn't use for the first one, which is a wild concept to think there was so much more stuff out there that they almost built a whole movie around it.
Yep.
I would love to see that all kind of spliced together, but we'll actually talk about Phantasm a little bit more later tonight. So, which is really cool to see. But Gothic Rose in the house, it said Gage was a little knobhead. I don't know. We're having issues with kids tonight, aren't we? Between Newt and Gage, you guys are going nuts on them. Let me see. All right, I'm way behind on the chat here. Let me see. Okay, we'll move on. I'm way behind. If you guys want to say whatever you said and I missed it, you can say it again.
31 is I mean
31. It's interesting. It's 31 and 13. Isn't that strange?
they probably did that. Yep.
Did it on purpose, try to be like clever.
Trying to be cool. Like the number 23.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about Friday the 13th, the original one. Now, I don't know. Would you consider it scary? I guess. I don't know. It was
Not really.
or is it just cool? Like Friday the 13th, the original one to me is an interesting one because back in the day it was always considered an all-time classic. And now I feel like a lot of people almost have kind of turned on the first one, I feel like. Do you find that people like, I don't like the first one because it doesn't have Jason? Like I'm finding that more now than I did back in the day. Back in the day, it was, Friday the 13th. I remember watching it for the first time thinking I was going to see Jason and I didn't, and thought it was just as cool because it was so different and unique. And then seeing that it was leading up to a sequel with Jason was even cooler at the time.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, like at this point, I've just fast forward to where Betsy Palmer comes in. I swear to you, man. Like that to me is I just think this is just me, but I just think Friday the 13th up to that point is a very average kind of slasher movie. I know it was kind of unique for its time because nothing like that really was that gory. That was a slasher movie that had come out before then. But now there's so much other stuff that kind of tops it but I do think that Betsy Palmer is insanely underrated in that movie about how good she is playing crazy. She's playing off top, but she's also doing an amazing job just playing, nuts.
Oh, 100%. But it's funny because
way.
I'm going to go through some of these now because, like I said, universally, Friday the 13th, I thought was universally loved as an all-time classic. But if you look at everybody saying is like, Bobby saying the tone, mood, and setting of Friday the 13th is amazing, definitely creepy. And I feel the same way still. But then Carter says that, he thinks it's boring filler. Palmer saves it. It's slow otherwise. So it's really interesting to kind of see how people are very torn on this original one. It is kind of an unintentional prequel for sure to what we get.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is interesting that people have kind of put this one a little bit lower on their list of favorites. To me, it's still, I'm going to say out of all the Fridays, it's got to be top 5. I think for me, but like you said, Palmer kills it. Would you consider it scary? I don't know. Maybe she's freaky in it for sure.
I mean, it's just because I've seen it 8,000 times. I don't really consider it scary anymore, but I'm sure it was at that time for sure.
You like the Christies? I'm a friend of the Christies.
Friend of the Christies. Yeah.
I like when she's fighting the girl on the beach and she's like, going, she's pulling her hair and stuff.
I like my favorite line delivery. Maybe one of my favorites of all time is the way that she goes, "He wasn't a very good swimmer."
Yeah. He wasn't, huh?
No, he wasn't great.
He's just in the middle of the thing. How do you get so far out anyway? It's so funny because when they did the Freddy vs. Jason one and they tried to reenact it, he's like right in the dock. I'm like, yo, he was out in the middle of the freaking water. He wasn't in no dock. And the thing is, on the remake, on the Freddy vs. Jason, they did like the whole reenactment. Why did Jason look like Kane? Like he was like a skinny little like.
That's true. Kid. Yeah.
And in the Freddy vs. Jason, he was like this big
and bulked up. Yeah.
It's like a baby Kane. But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny. And how the hell did he get out in the middle of the water if he wasn't a good swimmer? How did he get out all the way over there? Did they like bring him out on a raft?
He just
over
dog
and-
paddled. He fucking. He's like, oh, he's dog paddling his way out there.
A mongoloid?
Nobody paying attention to it.
A what? Oh my god. Jason found HGH in front of Jason. he was big in that. Oh my god. That's not nice. Drowning waterhead.
Not nice at all. Jason has swimmies. He's got little floaters, little floaties.
He wasn't a good swimmer. They put the little floaty arms on him.
Yeah.
So
Holy shit. That image is amazing.
that's a shirt right there. Oh, here we go. Eli Roth's attorneys announced godforsaken Texas Chainsaw. Think about that, though. That's how little that thing must have sold. Number one, they're sending them out for free now to everybody. And number two, it's only been out for like 2 weeks and it's already down $100. Like, what about the people that spent $300 on it?
I seen it.
Like, is there a 30-day return policy? It's already down $100.
Man, that is kind of messed up if you think about it. But they had a booth at Scarefest and I saw it. It was there for $200. And like,
did you pick it up and like testing it
just
out?
run around. Yeah.
Be like, I just want to give it a test run before I buy it.
Like, put it back down and be like, no, it's not. It doesn't feel right.
It's a little too small for me.
Yeah.
This belongs to Gage, I think.
They had all their Blu-rays for $10. That was 200, and like VHS was 20, like the special edition VHS tapes. I mean, they were giving away stuff basically. So I don't know. You're right though. $200 is still too much, Mayor. I agree.
I'm thinking Black Friday that thing goes to $149. I bet they do half off. They probably got so many of those still sitting around that they're gonna we gotta get rid of this shit. But I feel like people that spent the $300 on it, they gotta be pissed. They were already pissed that the quality isn't what they wanted, but now to see this was already $100 off. Literally, that thing came out 2 weeks ago. It's already on sale for $100 less dollars. That's a tough
convention special, aka we need to get it out of here, like out of our warehouse immediately.
Yeah, basically. What up, Allie? Yeah, Eli Roth's attorney hangs out in here. He wants to make sure we're not saying anything. Usually, UB making sure he's not saying anything negative about his client Eli. Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I agree. 200 is a little bit too much still. For that. I think 149 is too much. I'm just trying to be reasonable on like man, if they brought that thing to 99, that would be pretty ridiculous. Like I would buy it for 99, but imagine them taking $200 off the original asking price. I mean, that's insane, dude.
I 100% think they will because I mean, and that whole thing was ridiculous. I don't even want to get into it, but $300 for that's crazy.
I wonder what the. I mean, it couldn't have cost that much, right? Like, what was their profit on that?
For $300, probably about $295. I mean, it's a little tiny box, and like.
Listen, I am not going to buy that thing unless if it gets under $100, I'll buy it. I would like it only because I want the VHS tape, and I'm a huge Texas Chainsaw mark, and I like to get all the different cool editions. So in that route, I would like it, but I'm not going to spend $200 nor $300 for it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't really have anything I need, right? Like, so it's what I want, not what I need. So it's not really top priority, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind having it.
Bombshell tonight. Garrett's totally going to buy. No, it's hard to believe.
No,
it's coming.
I'm not.
It's coming.
Let's see. I don't know. Maybe they'll send it to me. Who knows? I'm seeing they're sending them out to people for nothing. So maybe it'll be at my doorstep. That'd be a win.
Oh,
It could have been at UB's doorstep, but Wes said, "I'll take this."
I mean, to be honest, he can fucking have it, man. How many editions can you watch? Do you think I want a big ass, or not even a big
your,
ass, but like
your kid's
a
gonna be in the
small little
house like,
chainsaw? Like, where
give
am I
it to
gonna
your little
put it?
guy.
No, I've already got
I swear on my
2
life, I
court
did not
dates.
buy that set. I swear to God, I did not buy that set.
I mean, how many damn? I don't understand.
I get the truck. I don't know, what was that called? Black Maria? I get that.
Yeah, they didn't have that. Oddly enough, like there, they must have sold out of that.
Yeah. Oh no, woke creepy Kentuckians in that.
It's good. It's good to have him back.
Oh my God. All right. We just talked about Friday the 13th on this list. It was good to see it on the list. Like I said, I think it's got a little controversy now with people loving it or kind of being a little bored with it. Is the Black Maria still in print? I think so. I think, unfortunately, that was limited too. I think it's still out there 10 years later.
Mhm.
It was at the convention, right? I saw it on the table.
Well, when I was there, it was already. It must have been sold out.
With the Black Maria?
Yep, it wasn't around anywhere.
Would they want $40 for it?
How
That
much
was a
did it
what?
originally go for? And it's probably
I think
half
like
of that.
120 maybe or something.
They probably had it for 60 then. That's probably why it sold out.
But number 30 on this list as we move down is a favorite of mine, and they 100% needs to be on this list. I honestly would have put this in the top 10 probably.
Yep.
And that's Blair Witch Project. One of the movies that honestly still bothers me to this day. Like I love it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still unsettling to me. I don't know.
People really do forget like how well that movie is made, and they talk all this trash about it and stuff. But like, it's one of the most divisive horror films I think that there is, because you'll get the same kind of thing. It'll be like, oh, it's so boring and nothing happens and you don't see anything, and then you'll get other people like, it's a masterpiece and yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in the camp of believing that it is like a masterpiece. Like I think it's done insanely well.
I 100% agree. I think that it is. There's something about it that just works. I mean, obviously the lore of it being real was something that, we thought about when we saw it for the first time, but even now knowing it's not, it's still so effective. And it's done a little differently than a lot of found footage movies. And I'll be honest, found footage movies to me are still, and I think it stems from this, still are a little unsettling to me. I don't know what it is about that genre. Like I don't watch a ton of it, but when I do, I'm always kind of on the edge of my seat with it. It just still bothers me a little bit the same way that I think alien movies bother me a little bit, like abduction movies and stuff like that. There's something about
Yeah.
those movies that
Yeah.
kind of bother me. They're kind of hard watches for me. I like them, but it's always like I kind of have like an unsettling feeling. But I was thinking about Blair Witch, and I think a cool show that, we could do when this new one comes out is to talk about the whole lore of this. Like, because we were there, like the website,
Yeah.
what people were saying, the reactions of when they first got in theater. We could probably find all that old clips and stuff and maybe just do a whole retrospective on the lead up to Blair Witch and why it was so effective.
The Curse of the Blair Witch thing that came out, that was like everybody watched that too. Like I think pretty much everybody watched the movie and also watched that damn documentary, or pseudo documentary or whatever you want to call it, like that came out around the same time. But yeah, I mean you have to have lived through that to realize how effective all that was. But still, though, knowing all that, knowing what I know about it now, and like, not going away from the hype and everything that it had when it came out, still, I think it's a masterpiece. I watched it again recently, like 6, 7 months ago, something like that. Like, I mean, it's still a great film if you just sit down and try to watch it.
Yeah,
me,
I
anyway.
totally agree. Do I have it over here? Maybe.
There's a part in it that I'd kind of forgotten where they keep trying to get out of the woods, and they keep circling back around to the same spot, and then each time
here.
yeah,
Like,
each time they
walk
do,
all day.
yeah, the panic just gets worse and worse each time they get back around to the same spot. And if you watch that, like, it's just the way they ratchet up the tension, and it's brilliant to me.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool show. to just go back and try to find footage and splice it in and do like a whole recorded show about the whole build up to this, the site, when it, like, how was it exposed that it was fake? Wasn't it like at an award show they came out or something like that after you thought they were like dead?
Yeah, people
like they
really
had them
thought
come
that.
out or something.
That's crazy, man, because it was like the really early days of the internet, and they built that website, and everybody believed everything that was on websites at that time. You know, it was like the shit. This has to be real. Like it has a website, and yeah, they
Yeah, it
really
was
thought
the
they were
MTV
dead.
Movie Awards where they brought them out and basically were like, "Psych!" Like these are actors, and that's the thing. They were no name people, and like they really didn't do much afterwards either, did they?
No, none of them really did.
And that's
Um,
what's even more crazy is that was a, they said on this, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was like it made the most money out of any movie ever, right?
at that time, it was the most successful independent film ever made. Something beat it, but I can't remember what the hell it was.
Not Terrifier 3, did it?
No, what was it? Something more recent, but I don't know.
Paranormal Activity?
Maybe it was Paranormal Activity.
Hmm.
The main girl grew weed and went on deathbed. That's true. Yeah.
Did she? Did you guys interview her?
We interviewed her. Yeah, that was one of the ones.
I didn't know that.
Heather Donahue.
What did
Yeah,
she, see, that would be another thing that we could clip in some stuff she talked about in a video or something and make this whole Blair Witch retrospective. I think it'd be
that's true.
cool.
We interviewed. It was either. Man, I can't remember at this point. It might have been both of them. It might have been Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez, the directors. I think we did both. So that's there too in the archive.
Well, what's funny about that is I was at a thrift store the other day and I found this. It was like a Blair
Easy.
Witch like book.
Yeah.
And it was it was when it came out, and it basically just goes through like the movie and the making of it and stuff like that. So pretty interesting. I should have to dive into this and see what I can find. But yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever seen this. I had never seen this before, but it was just kind of hanging around on a shelf, and I was like, okay, I'll snag that. But yeah, Blair Witch, in my opinion, it deserves to be on every list. At number 30 here. If I was building this list, it would have probably been it would have easily been in top 10. I still think it's effective as shit. The couple scenes that stand out to me is when they're in the tent and all the kids are banging on the tent. That freaks me out. That whole scene at the end where she's in that damn house freaks me out. So much so that when the remake, or not the remake, but the sequel came out a couple of years ago, they went back to that house and I'm watching it. I'm like, oh no, we're not here again. Like, like I started panicking, and it was like a movie that came out recently. They go back to that same thing, and I'm already like starting to sweat. Thinking like, oh no, we're not going to go back in this thing again. And I don't know what it is. It's something about it that just, it's unsettling to me. And that scene of all of a sudden she turns the corner and that dude's in the corner and she's screaming his name. He's just standing there, and you're like,
Yep.
what is he doing? But then you start to think back and you're like, holy shit. Remember the guy said when the witch is about to kill someone, they put the other one in the corner so they can't see it. And you're like, she's going to be dead in a second. And she was the one they were going to kill. It was wild.
Well, and that's the thing that kills me though, is that a lot of people are like, they complain about that stuff. They're like, oh, the fucking ending is just him in the corner, and like they bitch about the simplicity of it. But to me, like that's the scariest part about it, was like it paid off. Like they paid the whole thing off. It went full circle,
Mhm.
like, and that was the ending of the movie. And like, because she's telling that story at the beginning of like how that all, like you said, like how that all happened. And I don't know. I just don't get the hate. I just, one of those movies, I don't understand why people hate it.
I agree. I mean, again, what's up, Ragnar? He says it's unwatchable if you were born before 1980. I don't know why that is. I mean, I would understand it. Maybe it was hard watching if you were born after 1990, I guess, or maybe 2000. Because I don't know going back in time where if this would work for a kid now, right? Like if you're in your teens right now and you go watch Blair Witch, would it be effective anymore? I don't know. I don't know if it's one of those things that you kind of had to be there. I have no idea. Yeah, we're definitely doing spoilers. Sorry.
On Blair Witch, I mean, yeah. If you haven't
Wow,
seen
people
it, I
like really. I
apologize.
don't know, guys. I'm curious to see. I think the backlash was because people felt tricked. That's why they don't like it. But You know what's funny? I'll tell you on a story, and I'm curious what you felt when you saw it for the first time. I saw this for the first time, and I was on a double date, I guess you would say. And when it ended, I was a little bit disappointed. I almost kind of laughed it off, and I was like, "That's it? Like, what the fuck is this?" Like, I wasn't really bothered by it. I almost kind of like the scene with them banging on the tent was a little bit disturbing, but then like the whole thing, I was kind of like, we didn't even get to see this witch. Like, I was like very whatever. I left kind of laughing at like this thing, like all this hype for this shit. But the
Yeah, I
thing
think
is every single day after that, all I kept thinking about was that damn ending in my
Yep.
head. It wouldn't leave me alone to a point
Yep.
where I'm like, I got to go watch this again in the theater. And I went with a friend and we watched it for the second time. And then I was like, holy shit. And I've never really had that experience where a movie stuck with me to a point where I needed to go again to be like, what did I miss here? Like, I was just almost like I was too cool at the moment to be like, to really think about it, be like, oh, bullshit, stupid. And then when I went, then it just kind of stuck with me for so long. And now it still bothers me to this day.
I think that was probably the biggest problem with that movie is that people expected there to be a payoff that was like, almost like a slasher film where the witch comes down and just like eats somebody's head or something. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what they thought they were getting into or something with it, but it was much more like subtle, to say the least.
Did you what the hell? Jackson, did you guys ever hear the theory that the directors confirmed that it's the two guys just messing with Heather Donahue the whole time and luring her into the woods to kill her? What?
No, I never heard that.
Yeah, this movie does give me chills. Hold on, Ring says, I don't feel tricked. I knew it was fake from the start. The jerk kid telling people in my class this is fake before his leave. I was the jerk.
Ruining everybody's fun. It's like,
He's standing outside the theater. What are you going to see, Blair Witch? Fake! Bullshit.
Bunch of dummies.
But when you saw it for the first time, were you affected right away, or did it take you a little bit to think about what the hell you just watched?
I saw it in the theater. And yeah, I mean, I pretty much from the very beginning was kind of like freaked out by that movie. But like it had that whole hype machine behind it and everything too, man, where like everybody was going to see it and freaking out. So, I mean, yeah, I don't remember ever like hating that one. Like there's been several movies I went to a theater and like hated and then went back later and watched and loved, but I've always like been freaked out by that movie.
I hated part 2 when I saw it in the theater. I remember being super let down and pissed about that one.
Part 2 is a weird one because I didn't see that until like I didn't go to the theater to see it. But when I saw it, like I really liked it. And then I went back and watched it again recently and really didn't like it. So it had the opposite effect. Like I thought it was a lot better than in my mind, it was a lot better than what it actually was.
I went into the sequel thinking it was going to kind of be like the first one and give us more to the story that maybe we didn't see. And then all of a sudden it was like a regular movie. I was like, what the hell is this? But I'm
everything was
appreciate it a little bit
that
more
whole
now.
backwards gimmick and everything.
Yeah. I kind of appreciate it more now because I know what I'm getting into. But back then I didn't know what the hell I was doing or what the hell they were doing because I was like, I don't know what this is here. Doesn't make any sense. But at that time, it was all shown that it was bullshit. Everybody knew it at the point. But yeah, that's Blair Witch at number 30. 29 is a movie that I feel is so effective, but does not get talked about enough. And that's Serpent and the Rainbow. What a great movie. And it just always kind of gets overlooked, in my opinion. Do you a big fan of this one?
Serpent and the Rainbow. I guess I'm kind of I'm okay with it. It's never been my favorite Wes Craven movie for some reason. Like, and it's also one that I probably watched the least of all his, and it comes up like constantly on these lists too. So I need to go back and watch it again. But like, I just never got blown away by it or anything like that. I don't
really.
know.
It's something about the voodoo thing that intrigues me, like that whole thing. What's the other one? Believers is another one that they kind of really
with Martin Sheen.
Yeah. I always kind of find that a little fascinating. I am surprised it's this high because I feel like it's not a Craven movie that people talk about a lot. So I'm surprised it's getting this much love. But like I said, there's some people. What's up, Dirk? This is his favorite Craven, so there are a lot of people that really stand behind this one.
It definitely has its audience. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's at number 29. It's good to see it getting some love because I'm almost positive this probably isn't on Shudder's list. I mean, it could be, but I don't remember talking about this.
I'm looking at it, but I don't see it on here.
Definitely another one that I feel gets pretty overlooked as well. And then when we get to number 28, I really love this movie. And I know in my head it's a classic. I don't know if other people find it a classic, but Stranger Calls, I think is just so effective.
Calls.
Is that a Hell Lord song or no?
Yeah, that's one of our classics. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
What do you think? Okay, so this is one of those movies too where it's like a Full Metal Jacket kind of situation. There's the beginning, the first 30 minutes, and then there's the rest of the film. And usually people will fall pretty hard on whether like they like the whole movie or they just like the opening. So I'm curious, like, where are you at with it?
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't see this until later. I actually saw the remake first. So when I saw the remake, I thought it was okay because I didn't know this movie that well. So I'm trying to think when the remake came out. Was it before this list? Because I'm wondering if this list turned me on to the movie. I forget.
Oh, God.
But I always found it
Somebody in the
weird
chat
that
room.
the remake basically, I think it ends where the first half of this movie ends. Like I think the climax of the remake is, hey, he's in the house and he's upstairs and the kid's alive. And I think that's kind of the climax of the movie. Then he chases her around and then I think the movie ends. So that's kind of what I knew. And then all of a sudden going into this one and that ending of the remake is basically like the first half of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the hell is this now? And then they go into that whole second half of the movie, which feels like a totally different movie. I actually appreciate it. I think it's an interesting story. I kind of like the switch of them putting what you would think would be the end of the movie in the middle and then kind of setting up a whole new plot line. I'm a fan of this movie. I think it works for me. I can understand it not working for other people because it's kind of a weird way to do things. But it does feel like two different movies for sure.
Yeah, I think it turns into like a detective movie, basically. Like after the first, 30 minutes, it becomes like a crime drama. I don't mind it. I don't know. Like at the beginning, like I would just watch like the opening part of it and I always hated the second half. But here lately, I've actually like come to appreciate the whole movie.
Yeah. And I think the sequel's okay. Stranger Calls Back. I think that's all right. I don't know if it's when the last time you've seen that was.
Oh God, dude, I couldn't tell you.
But it's interesting because Second Sight came out with the box set on Blu-ray before Second Sight was like barely known by everybody. I think it was a box set that came out. It's region free. I got it a real long time ago. And that was kind of before the big Second Sight boom, I guess you would say. But it's a great addition if you can still track it down. But yeah, it's a Stranger Calls coming at number 28. 27 is our annual Universal Monsters pick.
Yeah, the perfunctory Universal Monsters pick.
Yeah, we decided to go with Frankenstein this time. So cool. It's kind of one of those.
What I mean, what can you say about Frankenstein, man? Like, it's fucking Frankenstein. Like,
Did you see it? Did you see when the monster came up and you're like,
when he throws the kid in the water and yada fucking yada. It's like everybody knows Frankenstein's great. It's classic. It's got Boris Karloff. It's great.
I love it, but it's just fun. I love it, but why we laugh about it is because of the way this list is designed. Is that literally every single show there's a Universal Monsters movie in there, and it's just to me is kind of funny that it's almost like they just took all the Universal Monsters and like put them every 15. They just
to me, honest to God, you could take like a deck of cards and put the Universal Monsters on them and just throw them in any order in this, and I would have been like, okay, you know what I mean? The Wolfman could have been in this position. Frankenstein's only ripped off 13th sin.
I think that's shirt. There should be a shirt.
Oh shit, that's killer. Oh my
How funny would that
god.
be if someone was wearing a shirt Frankenstein ripped off Friday the 13th books?
Oh,
Number 26, I can see being here. That's 7. You know, I think it's kind of a.
yep.
I think 7. It's a precursor to Saw. I think it's effective. Great little movie. Glad to see it on here. What's my favorite Universal monster movie? Oh man, I would say I like Bride of Frankenstein a lot.
Oddly enough, I would say probably Creature from the Black Lagoon. would be
Oh yeah, I
mine.
forgot about that one. That's probably the one that's going to be last. That's going to be on like next week or something like that. I do like Creature a lot.
But 7, I mean, yeah, 7 is one of those movies when you first see it, you can't believe they did it. Like you can't believe that they actually I still can't believe they did the ending of that movie the way they did.
Mhm. I do like Invisible Man, Rambo. I actually really do like that one.
Yeah.
I did order a 4K of 7. I don't know what the hell's going on with that thing. I ordered it a long time ago. Just in case, Uncle Bill. So I drink energy drinks. Knuckles over here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you drink them. My favorite's Ghost. I would have to go with the Swedish Fish. Are probably my favorite. But I had a C4 hanging out over here that I was chugging.
For tonight, I was drinking energy drink because I just fucking got back
Yeah,
like
to
I
get
said
one.
from driving. Yeah.
Yeah, so you went to a convention all day today. Then you did a double stream. You must be beat, bro.
Yes, I am.
Convention take a lot out of people.
Well, we were there for what, 3.5 hours. Just constantly walking around. I didn't get anybody signed or anything. We just walked around literally the whole time looking at like vendors and stuff like that.
You didn't buy anything at all?
Yeah. I bought some stuff, but I didn't get
Yeah.
anything signed or any autographs or anything like that. I got the Phantasm dwarf mask.
Oh, you're from Trick or Treat
Trick or Treat.
Studios?
Yeah.
How is that? It's
they were
sold
there.
out.
Yeah, it's awesome. I could go get it if you want me to, but
How about you go get it? Yeah, actually, right now would be a perfect time to go get it because number 25 is Phantasm. So let's talk about it.
Okay, yeah, hold on, I'll be right back.
All right. I'll go to the chat. Let me see. Yeah, I agree. They are good. Let me see. I bet he's working tomorrow if I had to take a guess. So I agree. If you are watching this video, a couple things you can do right now while we're waiting for UB to get that mask, which is sold out in Trick or Treat Studios. Hit the like button. We are broadcasting this from 2 channels, mine, which is at Born to Be Rad, and Uncle Bill's, which is at deadpit.com. Make sure you go and subscribe to both channels. Hit the notification bell. We do a lot of stuff together, but we also do a lot of stuff separately on our channels. So if you're into horror, nostalgia, collecting, definitely want to subscribe to both channels. And while you're doing that, if you want to hit like on both channels, it really helps out the video. So you can do that. As Uncle Bill's coming back in, because I wanted these masks, and I still do, but they've been sold out on Trick or Treat Studios, or they hadn't even been up for pre-order. One of the two, they just weren't available when I went to buy them.
Right.
I have not seen these in person yet. I'm really curious to see how these came out.
So I bought 2 things at this show, and this is one of them.
Like, oh, dude, I would buy that little Belial.
There was a dude making custom, like hand painted little Belials. I don't know what the hell it's made out of.
Like a
It's
foam
like
or
rubber with foam inside of it or something. But
God damn it, B, you gotta tell me these things. I would have told you to get me one, and I would have sent you money. You'd ship them to me.
And the cool thing about it is he was showing me that on Amazon they've got these little baskets that this thing perfectly like fits in.
No,
And he had one like at his display thing, but I had to get this, man. Like I just like, yeah. So
I mean, I would
anyway,
like a life-size one, but I mean, you can
Yeah.
kind of resemble the little guys because in the sequels, there's little ones.
Yep. And then this is the mask. I think it's pretty fucking dead on, man. Or I wouldn't have bought it.
Wow. Now, what is that? Rubber or is that like hard plastic?
That is Rubber.
Okay. That's sick, dude. I want that. Now they have two with different expressions. Do you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, they had two different ones, but this was the one that I thought was more kind of like lifelike. The other one doesn't look as good. But this one
I
looks
like
to
that.
me looks exactly like the one from the film that I remember.
You should have your little guy run around the house with it on.
He probably will. There's no doubt about that. They
You
also
take a
had
picture of
the
it.
tall man
Tall
one
man?
too, but it doesn't look good, man. Like it just
It's
doesn't
not.
look.
It's not a good one.
No.
No, I was curious about
By
that.
far, this is the best looking one of the ones that they had.
All right, I'm gonna have to go on Trick or Treat and see if they have that. The problem is I don't get cool vendors like that at conventions around me. You don't
Yeah,
remember what the guy? You don't remember what the Belial dude's store was called? Do you?
I'll get it to you because he gave me a card and it's in the bag in there. Yeah.
Alright.
But he actually had some cooler stuff too. Like, he had like made little vials that had like the face huggers in them that were in water that looked like, you know how I should have got that for you. You know how it is like actually like in the movie
Yeah,
where it's like they're
yeah.
sitting in those cylinders or whatever and they're preserved. He had exact almost looking like replicas that looked like that. And then he had like ones like that, but it had Jason in it from like the bottom of the lake and stuff. Like
Was it like Jack Jason or like Skinny Jason?
It was Jack Jason. Yeah, it was like Kane Hodder style Jason.
Oh, like that Jason, not Boy Jason. Like
no, like the one with the chain around his neck when he's like,
oh yeah.
They had
That'd
that
have been
too.
sick. If how cool would it have been if he had like a big tub of water and there was like a boy Jason with like little swimmies on like in there. That'd have been sick.
Yeah, I mean he custom made all this stuff, so it was like really different than the stuff you usually see.
Is the name of it Belial's Are Us? Is that for real?
No,
Oh,
wow, sorry.
that'd have been so
killer.
killer. Belial's Are Us. But yeah, I would say you got two good things,
Oh.
man. Those are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't buy a lot of these things anymore, but what I do, I try to like get something completely unique.
I love it. How much was that Phantasm mask? Like 60?
60.
Or
Yep.
I bought this. This is different. I did a video on it if anybody wants to check it out. I ended up getting this freaking. Oh, hold on. My Necronomicon's gonna fall. Oh, okay, I got this. I did a video on it from Trick or Treat Studios.
Oh yeah.
This David mask.
Yep.
It was cheap, dude. It was only like for $40 or something like that, or 30. I think it was $40.
And that fucking thing is like wearable, clearly, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, but like, here's the thing, though, too.
the plastic.
It's freaking hard plastic. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. I usually am so used to rubber masks. I mean, it looks okay for what it is. I mean,
yeah,
the teeth are a little bit. They could be a little bit more defined, but I was shocked that it was so cheap. I was like, well, that's interesting. And they're supposed to do a Michael one too, so interested in that for sure. I heard their autograph prices were a lot more expensive than the convention I just went to.
here's what's weird is that like so the only person that I checked on's autograph because I didn't give a shit, man, was Clive Barker. And that was really the only person I had any interest in. And on the thing that I read off, it said 90, but he was charging 100. And that was really kind of a shitty situation. Like I was telling you, like if I would have really been into Clive Barker, I'd have been super pissed. But like, yeah, they were like, hey, on the loudspeakers, they were like, hey, like everybody get down here now because Clive Barker's, you know, if you want to get anything signed by him, he's finishing up. You go down there, and it wasn't 2 minutes until we were down there, and they were like, he's not signing anymore.
Oh my god!
Okay,
Really?
yeah.
That sucks. I mean, he would be someone cool to meet just because he's so iconic. But yeah, that sucks. I heard that was it you? Somebody said Danielle Harris was expensive. When I saw her,
She was 80
I went to
bucks.
this. Oh, Silver Scream Con probably like a month ago. I think she was 60, I think maybe. What was she
Yeah.
at yours?
80. Yep.
Hmm.
She didn't have anybody at her table, and neither did Scout Tucker. This was today though, so I mean they may just not.
How dare nobody go see Scout?
I'll tell you this though, as usual, fucking Kane Hodder.
Guy
Man,
kills it, dude.
I don't I don't understand it, but like he had a line the entire time I was there, like wrapped around the little thing. I
Wild.
mean,
Do you think
it
people
was.
just like him, or they're like, I want to go get choked out by Jason again? Like, do you think they just have like
I
this
don't even
weird
know if
thing
he
because
does
he's
that
so?
anymore. Because didn't
Oh, he
something
doesn't do that
happen with
anymore.
that? I don't think he does it because somebody got like hurt or claimed they got hurt. I don't think he does that anymore.
I can see that happening. I was at Monster Mania and Kane accidentally cut somebody's arm with a machete, and they had to get stitches for
Killer.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean,
sliced the dude's arm open with like a real machete, and the guy had to get stitches. Wild.
that gimmick can only go so far.
Oh, he's not allowed to choke
Not
anymore.
allowed to choke.
What the hell? Doodle. Let me see. Danielle held my daughter. Yeah, I mean they're still running the scene. Danielle and Scout. They were just at where I was. They were
Yep.
both there together as well.
Yeah, they were right beside each other.
Interesting.
You had
Nobody
like
knows.
they had too many people there, man. So you had like all the Phantasm people together, all the Hellraiser people together, uh all of those people like the Scout and the Danielle and all the Scream people. The Scream people was by far the most popular. Like they had lines going out the door down the thing and
Mhm.
everything else.
I mean, that's
Nobody
a
else
lot of
was.
guests, dude. It's a lot of reunions in one
Yeah,
place, right?
I don't
Like they just blew their load on this one thing.
like CK was saying, I didn't know this, but it makes sense. Like whoever's running that show now apparently has like tons of money and they're just getting like everybody. It's like WCW. They're just
Was it
guaranteed money. Just everybody
was it
come
a
in.
convention
Like,
hall like a
yeah, it's
big?
a huge like convention warehouse hall kind of thing.
So you're saying it's not like? Would it be a destination? Like if I was like, oh, I'm gonna come to Scarefest next year, like because it's so big, like a horror hound,
Yeah.
right? Like, would
Yeah,
it be worth
it's
doing that, or is it just too big? It's not even fun to go.
well, I mean, what's the last big show you've been to?
Silver Scream was pretty big. I mean, it wasn't huge, but I mean, it was pretty. I go to Comic-Con here. That's huge. So
I
I
mean,
mean, I don't see it being that big, but I mean, hell, I don't know.
it's one of those like, you can't really stop because people will run you over walking up the aisles kind of shows now. It didn't used to be that way, but now it's gotten to the point where it's almost on par with like when they do the Comic-Con. It's almost that big now.
Yeah, I would love to try to do that. I mean, maybe it would be cooler if people did like a big meetup and then you could go in, walk around, go get lunch, come back, like almost like a big hangout thing instead of just walking around all day. But I know your family likes to go to those things too.
Oh yeah.
This
They
is
just
true.
like to dress up and be seen, really. That's
What do
the
they
main
dress like?
thing.
Anything good?
Kids, at the time dressed up as a Tim Burton kind of like character. Fox didn't want to go. Go, he stayed. He stayed up. He's too young to really appreciate that.
So wait, did he stay home with anybody or?
No, he just stayed at the house watching TV. Yeah, we
I
dropped
was
him
like,
off.
he's too young for these things. He stayed home. Like, what the hell did he do?
Yeah,
He's too
he
young
was
for a
he's
convention, but
crocheting. Yeah,
he just chills at the house by himself, throws some parties, but he's too young to go to conventions. Wow.
we had a couple of friends that watched it. They got like a
Oh.
kid his age. Yeah.
Alec Baldwin is gonna be at Monster Mania coming up.
That's wild, man.
Wild, but they're doing a Beetlejuice reunion, so that's why he's gonna be there. Gina Davis, him. Who the hell else is?
I kind of feel like it's a recipe for disaster, though. The way people at conventions are, like somebody's going to ask him about Russ.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and he's the type of guy who gets pissed.
Yeah.
Like you ever see those videos of when like paparazzi bother him or
Yep.
whatever? He doesn't like that.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean that's so funny that you Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, that's the one. I go to Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill. I won't be there this time. I'm going to be at Chiller, hopefully next weekend, but we will see. But yeah, we're talking about Phantasm. We talked about it earlier. Fantastic movie. I'm glad to see it get some love here. I mean, this is at 25. I don't even think Phantasm was on Shudder's list at all. It could have been, but I just
Wait
feel
a
like
minute. Are
nobody
you
ever talks
serious?
about Phantasm.
I don't even know. I gotta check that though. Was it not on that list at all? No, it is. It's 60. They put it 60.
Well, at least it's getting love, man. Nobody gives Phantasm enough love. I feel like we're the only ones that talk highly of Phantasm. I feel like it's one of those movies that's like it's only important to specific people.
Yeah, it doesn't have the crossover appeal that like, the bigger kind of films that we talk about it. But for some reason, like I said, it's just one of those movies though that has a completely unique vibe all its own. Like there's no other movie like Phantasm at all.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. I think it's so unique. It's got a great tone to it. It's one of those movies that I feel like I'm the same boat with Salem's Lot, where I could put Phantasm on anytime and just like have it playing in the background while I'm doing stuff, and it never gets old to me.
It's like Phantasm is to me, and I actually talked to Coscarelli about this when I met him a long time ago. Just like if some of those European films like Suspiria were an influence, on him at all for doing that movie. And he was basically like, yeah, in terms of like some of the just that nothing, it's like a dream. Like the whole thing feels like a dream and nothing's really linear a lot of times in that movie.
Mhm.
Um, and I just feel like it's an American version of some of those films, like those Argento's kind of film.
Yeah, definitely. Phantasm feels like a nightmarish reality, so surreal, 100%. And if anybody out there hasn't seen Phantasm, I think you guys should check it out for sure, 100%. And the Blu-ray or whatever the hell's out there now, the HD, like the quality is fantastic on those new editions. I've never seen that movie look so good. Like people are
Yeah.
saying, bring it out in 4K. I mean, I don't know how much better this thing can look, to be quite honest, but
It
yeah,
was sad
great.
though, man, at that show that to see Reggie in a wheelchair. Like I was not
Oh yeah,
expecting.
I saw that in the picture. I didn't know that he was at that point.
I don't know what's going on, but I mean, it was not good. I can tell you that.
Shit. Now you have all their autographs already, right?
Yeah, I've got like a
Mm.
poster signed by everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Actually, Wes got it for me years ago, like right when I first met him. He was go actually it might have been like 2019 or something, maybe 2016. You guys, I don't know if you were with him, but he went to an event that had a Phantasm reunion, and this was right when Angus passed away.
That
He was
was a
supposed to be there.
Scarefest.
He
Yeah.
canceled,
Yep.
and I had this poster with Angus in the middle, and I wanted it like almost like a tribute, so everybody signed around him, like the rest of the cast. I don't know if you were with him that time, but he ended up getting that for me.
No, I don't think I was at that show with him I don't think I was there the day he was, but I was actually at that show at some point. Um, I think that's like one of the last ones he really went to and got stuff signed. Like it was
That
that
was it.
show.
He probably only
Yeah.
went because I sent him something to get signed for me. He was like, "God damn it, he's making me go to this shit." Um, um, it's a good question. Did Phantasm first? Did you like it when you first watched it grow on you? My uncle, I talked about this before, being such a big horror fan. 4 movies that he always really, I'm gonna say 5, drilled into my head was Dawn of the Dead, Phantasm, Reanimator, Hills Have Eyes, Last House on the Left. Those 5 were like movies that he hyped up so much to me that when I saw it for the first time, I felt like I was watching like an all-time classic. So of course I loved it from the beginning because I felt like this was horror, So
Yeah.
just because he put it on such a pedestal for so long, and I've always loved it.
Same. I think that your uncle and my dad would have been like really good friends because it was basically the same way. Like dad already like loved that movie by that point and hyped it up and hyped Angus Scrimm's performance in it up to me, as a kid and everything watching it. So like, yeah.
So did you watch it with him for the first time?
Yeah. Yeah. He was
Yeah,
the
I
first
watched it with
one.
my uncle for the first time too. And it was cool because when I was watching it with my uncle, he was kind of explaining it, things were going on. And I remember when I really was like, holy shit, this is cool, was when I saw Angus pick up that casket.
Yep.
That really like opened my eyes. Like, oh shit, that's a cool little touch, because if you're not thinking about it, you might not even think about it, right? It's just he's putting it in the truck and you're kind of like thinking, but then you're thinking to yourself, holy shit, it took 6 guys to bring this over here. And this dude's just picking it up and putting it in the truck by himself. And that's when I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. And sure enough, it was.
That slow motion scene where he goes past the the
On
ice
the bike?
cream
Oh, that
truck and everything, and he's yeah. That's just amazing.
such a great villain. And that was number 25. And we're going to finish it off tonight with number 24. And what a great way to finish this thing off. We're at about 90 minutes right now, guys. So thank you to everybody who is here watching with us tonight. It's getting late, but this is Suspiria.
So somebody said this, and I kind of agree with this. It was some critic or some shit that I usually don't agree with, but like they were like, the first 30 minutes of this movie might be the best first 30 minutes of like any horror film. And I kind of agree. It just starts off and you immediately feel uncomfortable. And it's like it's a different world completely. Like the way that movie starts. It's like she walks in she walks into the airport or whatever, and it's like the doors open up and the wind hits her, and it's like it just feels so odd the way that that's shot.
Now, I know this is one of your favorites, correct? Or
I
do
mean,
you not, like, now being a big Argento fan, do you look like, to me, this always feels like his number one. But I'm not the biggest, like, I've seen his stuff maybe like once or twice. So when you look at this, does this stick out as like a favorite of his, or do you look at this and be like, it's okay?
no, I don't look at.
comparison to
I look
everyone
at. I don't look at it as like, oh, it's okay. I mean, clearly, it's like a masterpiece, but it's one that I think I've seen so many times that like I kind of like some of his other films more at this point, just because I didn't see him as many times. We actually saw Suspiria at a theater screening of a 35 millimeter print, and it's incredibly effective with a group of people too. Like you just get lost in that movie.
Yeah, for real. Like I said on our stream that we talked about earlier on Pizz's, is that my first introduction to Suspiria was from the Anchor Bay double box set, that limited thick box. Saw that at Best Buy, and I was like, "What is this?" And I think I turned it around, and I think the quote was like "scariest movie ever made" or something. And I saw that it was like came with a soundtrack and all this stuff, so I purchased it and watched it for the first time, and it was very different than what I was used to, because like that was my first introduction to like Italian. So it was a very different, that giallo was a very different feel to me at the time, but it opened up a door, and I've always loved Suspiria so much just because of that memory and whatnot.
It's in terms of like visual storytelling, I don't think there's a movie that's better than that, really.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Again, being someone who's a bigger fan of all that stuff, the Italian stuff, do you find Tenebrae to be one of his? What is your favorite of his stuff? And has it changed through the years, kind of?
It has, yeah. And I could go back and forth with like 2 or 3 different movies, but like, I mean, my ultimate favorite of his is probably Deep Red. I think that movie's so batshit crazy that I just love everything about it. And then Tenebrae is probably up there, and then Suspiria. Those 3 together, probably. And then I think Wes loves Phenomena. Every time I watch Phenomena, I'm kind of like, this movie's a damn mess. It's like there's monkeys running around and fucking
like
insects and Donald Pleasance and like
Donald Pleasance running around.
Yeah. And some of the other stuff is just a little bit too far out there for me. I love Inferno though, but if I was being honest, the first scene in Inferno, or the first maybe like 30 minutes of Inferno, is probably my favorite thing Argento ever did. The underwater sequence where she goes down and tries to find like
the key or whatever. Is it a key, or where? I'm trying to think, which is the one that doesn't have a lot of additions? Is it that? What is
Yeah, Inferno is probably the least like of any of his films in terms of like additions.
I'm trying to think what I have. I've got to have a Blu-ray, right? Who would have put that out? Synapse, or
I guess it would have been Synapse if there is a. I don't have the Blu-ray. Come think of it.
You don't have a Blu-ray of it?
I don't have Blue Underground put it out. I don't have one of it though.
Blue Underground, Inferno. Let me check. I don't see it over here. part of me feels like I have it, but I can't see it in my.
Bird with the crystal
me
plumage
look.
is awesome. I agree with that.
I
I
like
also
that.
love Cat of Nine Tails. A lot of people don't like that one. I cannot figure out why. I think that's a great jello.
Yeah, Inferno. All right, I'm gonna have to check and see if I have that. Arrow released it on Blu-ray. Maybe I have it from Arrow. Part of me feels like I do have it, but is this true? Disney owns it? What?
What? I hope not. Well,
They're starting to collect Argento stuff now.
yeah.
But yeah, it's getting late, guys. This must have been like our 5th show, I think. Probably. I think we've got 2 more. Wait, does that make sense?
So,
Yeah, we've got 2 more.
Yeah. So we got to do 20. How are we going to do this though? We're going to have like a 20.
I think we'll go down to 10
and then do the top 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have 2 more shows, guys, left. So I think we could just probably do this in 2 more weeks. So basically just do Sunday. I think that works out because then we'll end on the week of Halloween.
Yep.
So that works. But thank you guys for checking this out, for sticking with us. If you liked this and you want to watch more, you can go back and watch the past episodes. Like I said, this is already like our 5th episode. And if you like it even more and you didn't check out the one we did for Shudder, you can check that out. I think I have a playlist on my channel. You can watch us doing a little countdown for the Shudder list. But I appreciate everybody who is sticking with us and hanging out. Yeah, we talked Newt. We talked about Newt and Gage.
That Newt story will never die. I guarantee it.
Sorry about that.
Be shit on this chat about that for like the next 2 years.
People are gonna keep bringing up Newt and stuff for the next 2 years.
Yep.
But thank you guys again so much. Now, obviously, plug it. You can find you over at deadpit.com if you're watching on my channel, and if you're watching on their channel, I'm at Born to Be Rad. Definitely go sub up and like the show. Really, really helps out. And anybody new who's checking us out for the first time, there's some new face or names. So thank you guys for popping in and saying what's up. Appreciate that. And we will see you guys again. Come back on Thursday because we're going to be doing another show together on Thursday, doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre triple ranking. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of fighting going back and forth on that one, bickering and whatnot. So if you want to see us going head to head on our rankings for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you will join us again next week. No, Thursday. Jesus, I'm losing my mind. At 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. UB, it's been great. 4.5 hours chatting with you tonight.
Pass out. Just like we're going to hit my hand on the keyboard.
This is Garrett at Born to Be Rad. And like always, stay rad.
Stay dead.
I'd like to tell people, thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes. Thumbs it up with violence and fury and just love everything about it.
You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at Shaw.